819 for offer details.
Live from the Midtown studios of KFNX, it's time for the Wellness Roundtable radio show, sponsored by Atrix.com. Now, here's your hosts, Dr. Spear and Dr. Weiss.
Welcome to the Wellness Roundtable radio show. I'm Dr. David Spear with my co-host, Dr. Scott Weiss. We are co-founders of WellnessRoundtable.com. We're here with you every Wednesday from 3 to 4 on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX. And for those of you who are just joining us, our show is designed to provide you with unique information where you can listen in, participate in discussions on any topics related to wellness, health, and fitness. And we often offer you some very interesting expert advice from experts from all over the country and all over the world in those areas, talking about various topics related to health and longevity. So today, Scott?
Yeah, I made it in, Dave. Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you perfectly. How are you?
Excellent. Very cold here in New York. I think it's down into the single digits of the teens. And, of course, running around making sure that all my pipes in my house are good. And when these holidays come, got to buckle down on the hatches, so to say.
Absolutely. So speaking of buckling down on the hatches, we have a guest who's going to do exactly that.
Great.
Our guest is Michael Wood. And he is a world-renowned fitness expert. He's worked in all facets of health and fitness as a studio owner, a personal trainer, a former assistant strength coach at the University of Connecticut, and the chief fitness officer of the Coco Fit Club, which I'm going to ask him a little bit about. So he's definitely seen a thing or two about fitness, about health, and about, kind of the revolution of fitness that we're going through right now. His programs have appeared in 2 books. His academic work has appeared in scientific peer-reviewed journals. He was also named 2 times as top 100 trainer in America by Men's Journal and voted Best of Boston by Boston Magazine. He has several strength and cardio workouts featured at the Coco Fit Club around the U.S. and Canada, and they are completed about 205,000 times each month by members. And he currently has a new book on sale on Amazon called the TBC 30 Plan, a 6-step diet and exercise strategy. We're going to hear a little bit more about that book during the show. Welcome to the program, Michael.
Welcome, Michael.
Hey, happy to be here, guys. Hey, guys, what's going on? A little cold here, but we're doing okay.
Yeah.
Where are you based out of? Mike?
Not too far from you, Scott. I'm outside of Boston. I'm on Cape Cod.
Yeah, so you know what's going on. Nice deep freeze we're having in the Northeast.
Oh, yeah, I think it was 18 degrees in the garage this morning during my workout, and I had heat on.
Understood. That's why we need fitness to keep us warm and get our aerobic juices going. So.
That's all right. How you guys doing, okay?
We're doing great. And,
nice.
we start the show with a current event usually. And I was doing some reading this past week, and this is not a new sort of topic. It's really not a new idea, but the question is, can sitting too long kill you? And I've been reading through your book, Michael, and, you have a lot of very interesting quotes in there from people throughout history as well as exercise physiologists and fitness experts. But there are some amazing, staggering statistics that you lay out in the beginning of the book that basically states why it is that we are a country of overweight and obesity, why we are so inactive, and in a way, why we're not really motivated to move. And one of those statistics has to do with cardiovascular disease and diabetes, and shows that basically there's over a 100% relative risk of having those conditions if you sit too long. So I want you to talk just a little bit about that. First of all, why is it that we sit too long, and how do we remedy that?
Speaking of sitting too long, I have to get up and walk around the house because I'm sitting. I don't want to sit there in this interview. Scott's out in New York, and I'm here. You guys have Sunday 70-degree weather. Yeah. But in the Northeast, it's in the single digits, as Scott mentioned, and that has a tendency to get us to what to do this winter hibernation, if you will. We become slow and sluggish. We're indoors more. Most of us are already, taking the train or driving to work, so you maybe have a half hour each way there. You get to the office, and, you're sitting most of the day. You really are when you start looking at the amount of time. I've read some great research on this. against some research on my own. And, you know, the average person can easily sit 8 or 9 hours or more in a given day. And, of course, that's compounded. The problem gets compounded this time of the year. And, you know, just look at your pedometer. Look at my Fitbit watch. You might easily get 10,000 steps a day plus in the summertime. And in the winter, you got to force yourself to get out to walk the dog a couple extra times on top of your workout and get those steps even up to 7,000 to 8,000. It becomes a difficult task. So I think depending on where you live, that can have a significant impact on those metrics. And then in addition to that, and I think just in addition to that, guys, let's face it, the technology, say what you will, we all love it. But at the same time, I see the younger generation, really all generations, but they're just sitting more, and that physical inactivity is really starting to weigh on us in terms of, just look at the numbers. The book talks about it, but pre-diabetes, the numbers are staggering.
It is.
Diabetes, and you probably have a person or two in your family who those numbers are a little too high in terms of cholesterol and blood sugar, et cetera. And I know I do too, and I got to constantly watch that. And when we're not active, especially in those winter months, those numbers will rise. So I think there's a lot of things that, a long-winded answer, but I think there's a lot of things that kind of affect that physical inactivity.
Mike, you've been pretty clear. I mean, temperature and technology, two main reasons that bring us indoors, you know. I think that's such a good point, and really things just build upon that, you know. Unfortunately, people, you know, their ergonomics when they are sitting, I think has to be evaluated too, because, you know, if you're going to have to sit for that long, and, you know, temperature and technology do that, you got to learn to sit right. And I'm sure you'll be able to share some of the right ergonomics about sitting with our listeners if they have to do it for a chunk of time.
Sure. And again, what I do with Coco in my office, I have a regular desk like everybody else, but what I try to do, I'm a big guy, I'm 6'5", so I like to move more, so I stand up. I have a working, standing desk, if you will, that, you know, nothing fancy. There's some really cool stuff you could buy out there, but I've had things where I put pieces of wood across the treadmill outside or in the office, and, you know, my computer goes on there to make a conference call or to watch, read emails. So at least I'm getting a few minutes of activity rather than sitting during emails and calls. It's just a couple of quick ways to get up. So, you know, maybe try a couple of those things.
Yeah.
But what if we have to sit, Mike? What if we have to sit? I think a lot of listeners would like to know, is there a better way of sitting? Is there a right posture? Of course, we know anything for too long is detrimental, but what is the right way to sit if we have to sit for a long period of time?
Great question. I know Scott can answer this too, being a PT, but again, it's when we sit down, like I'm sitting right now, what I've done is, again, being a big guy, I have a seat that enables me to have basically right angles everywhere. So when I'm sitting, I'm comfortable, my hip is at a right angle, my knees are at a right angle. I don't want my knees higher than my hips. That's going to kind of load my back a little bit. So you really want to make sure that you're sitting appropriately with it. Hey, you might be on a stability ball. A lot of people think, you know, I'm going to sit on a stability ball or something like that. And sometimes that can do more damage because the ball is not inflated enough and you're sitting down and your knees are higher than your hips. So when you're sitting, we just want to make sure that we're nice and tall, that we draw in our navel to the spine, and we have our thighs parallel to the floor, and everything from the ankle to the knee to the hip is at a comfortable right angle, and then the screen should be at eye level. And it's amazing how many people are hunched over with that. So you really got to watch out for that.
That's true. You know, that's one thing that I do hear as well, is that if anything, you have to look straight, but if anything, looking down slightly, I think that they said was a little bit better. But I see what you're saying. That might pull you into a poor posture.
Exactly. And again, that head's 11 pounds for the average person, and that whole upper neck area, the trapezius, the mid-back, the rhomboid muscles, they're on overload all day anyways, let's face it, guys, because we're bent over looking at our phones. Yep. So there's a lot of neck flexion right there. So you really got to be cognizant when you sit down. And, you know, I got a little floppy just then, too, until we started talking about, so there you go. Posture's up, chest is out, retract the shoulder blades, and I feel a little bit better.
That's great. I mean, these are all really, really good points. And there's a lot of information out there for our listeners about sitting and sitting disease and how it's related to various conditions. When we come back, we're going to talk with Mike a little bit more about his experiences and also about his book. Stay with us.
Do your feet hurt? Try on a pair of the healthiest shoes you'll ever wear with Atrex. Atrex shoes feature built-in arch support that can help with balance and alignment. Plus, ultra-comfortable memory foam cushioning to keep you feeling great all day long. All wrapped up in a stylish package. Atrex believes that you don't have to sacrifice comfort for fashion. Visit Atrex.com, that's AETREX.com, and get what's sure to be your new favorite pair of shoes today.
Don't we all have questions about our health, fitness, or even injuries? Now there's a place to go, and it's online at wellnessroundtable.com. Wellnessroundtable.com is an online interactive video platform that allows the best experts in the world to share their knowledge with you. Through creating a roundtable or attending a lecture, you are bound to realize the value of having evidence-based information live and in the comfort of your own home. Check them out at wellnessroundtable.com and get some real answers. Use the promo code 1100 to get a 20% discount.
Are you looking for relief of chronic pain? Do you want to retrain your movement patterns as a result of injuries or just improve your golf or tennis game? Look no further. Call Amy Kraft. Amy Kraft is a therapeutic fitness and rehabilitation educator with extensive experience including 7,000 plus hours of yoga, anatomy, and biomechanics training. Get better sleep, improve your balance and strength, live with less stress. Call Amy Kraft at 406-546-6922 or visit boomerplusyoga.com. Nationally recognized fitness expert Michael Wood, named 2 times as one of America's top 100 trainers by Men's Journal, has a new book to get you on the path to health and longevity. The TBC 30 Plan, a 6-step diet and exercise strategy, simplifies the exercise and diet puzzle and will have you feeling great in only 30 days. If you're looking for a science-based approach to improving how you fuel your body and exercise in the new year, this is the book for you. The TBC 30 Plan is available as an ebook or paperback and can be found at Amazon.com or MichaelWoodFitness.com.
Veterans face treacherous situations filled with peril while serving our country. Many veterans come home physically injured, suffering with PTSD, have traumatic brain injuries or other ailments. Treatment is available, but we need your help. Help Heal Veterans, with the support of generous citizens like you, improves veterans' lives on a daily basis across the United States. For over 45 years, Help Heal Veterans has provided over 30 million therapeutic art kits and craft projects to these critically injured veterans, at no charge to them. Doctors, therapists, and brain injury experts recommend this type of therapy. Since the beginning of World War I, over 100 years ago, art and craft therapy has proven to improve gross motor skills, improve memory, and lessen anger issues in healing veterans. To volunteer or learn more, visit healvets.org. Help a veteran. Visit healvets.org.
Steve, thank you very much. We're coming in with the Who. Nice call. We are the Wellness Roundtable radio show, and we're talking with Michael Wood, world-renowned fitness expert, who has a new book, the TBC 30 Plan, a 6-step guide to diet and exercise. It's on sale on Amazon as well as Michael Wood Fitness. So to continue our discussion, Michael, I wanted to find out just a little bit more, if you could tell our listeners a little bit about your background as an exercise physiologist and coach.
Sure. Been in the industry for a long time. Hard to imagine it's coming up on 30 years this January 2018. But I started back in the mid-'80s doing basically personal training, if you will. It really wasn't big in Boston and Cambridge where I was. I started doing that and worked for a local health spa, if you will, very high-end facility at Harvard Square in Cambridge, near Harvard University. Did that for about 5.5 years and took that into kind of transitioned that into my own personal training business, and I've done that ever since. But in the interim, spent almost 6 years as a senior exercise physiologist in Boston at Tufts University in Boston, and did a little stint, I think you mentioned at the beginning of the show, as a strength coach at UConn, and spent 12 years at Coco Fit Club developing exercise programs, both on the cardio and strength side. So, like you said, kind of a little bit of everything in the fitness industry, but
yeah. So looking through your book,
can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you great. Looking through your book, what I really like about it is that you use a lot of sort of evidence. It's kind of an evidence-based book. You even say if you want a scientifically based type workout. Where do you kind of get that academic?
Can you hear me okay? Sorry about that.
We can hear you great. Can you hear us?
Yep, I got to put you on speaker.
So
the one thing about living down the Cape in Massachusetts and Cape Cod is, I apologize, but it's beautiful weather, beautiful beaches, but the reception sometimes.
That's quite all right. We're all good. So where do you get that academic kind of, background? Like you're really using a lot of evidence. It looks like you put a lot of work into this book. Why is that important to you?
I think because, I read so much, and I know the two of you guys do. Obviously, you're both doctorate in PT and PhDs. So we're all in the same boat. I'm not at that level, but we read a lot. And there's so much stuff out there. There's so much content in today's world and online, and a lot of it just isn't good. And I didn't want to just put another book out there that wasn't heavily referenced. And this is actually just the first edition of the book, and I kept it kind of lean. The second edition's coming out in 2018. It's already double in length. And I just wanted to get a program that people could follow, a template that people could follow in terms of strategies on the diet and exercise front end. And I just didn't want to put anything out there. I wanted to use my experience, but couple that with what the research shows, what works, and not waste your time trying some of these other things. And there's a lot of, a lot of pseudoscience, if you will, on the diet and exercise side. So I've done my homework. I preach good exercise methodology, like we all do on the show, and as well as diet. A lot of things just don't work.
Mm-hmm.
I've tried that with clients. I've read the research. I spent 6 years as a physiologist at Tufts University's Research Center on Aging, and I'm very fortunate to have worked with a lot of people and basically have learned a lot of great things from them, and have taken that and melded that into my own philosophy, and that's what's in the book.
Got it.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's one thing to go through, life acquiring knowledge, but, as you did, I think it's so important that once you do acquire the knowledge, to share it with the majority instead of just keeping it, for yourself and using it. So that's great that you were able to kind of take your experiences and put that all in a book, combine that with some academics, and at least they know, the listeners know if they order that book, they're going to be getting good quality information.
Right.
Exactly. And again, things that we've tried, not just, hey, anybody can put a program together, but what we've done is we've taken my experience over the last 30 years and working with hundreds and hundreds of clients and, 35,000 training sessions, not including anything to do with the 12 years I spent at Coco Fit Club. And we've taken that and what works with getting people basically in better shape, changing somebody's life. What does it take on the nutrition side, on the exercise front, on the mind-body connection, which is a big piece. And that's what we really try to kind of condense that down into 6 easy steps to follow that work, science-based, if you will, and it's worked for me and my clients.
Yeah, that's where I think this is a very unique kind of read. We're talking with Michael Wood, world-renowned fitness expert, and his new book, The TBC 30 Plan, a 6-step diet and exercise strategy, on sale at Amazon and Michael Wood Fitness. And if you want to join in on the conversation, please call us at 602-277-5369 if you're in Phoenix, or if you're out of state, 1-866-536-1100. Michael, that's the thing that's unique about it. It's scientifically based, but it's so simple. There are 6 simple steps, and I want to really delve into that with you and find out what you were thinking when you were writing about these steps and how the steps integrate. So the first step is mindset. So when you think about mindset, you think about behavior, you think about cognition, you think about, what people think of when they talk about exercise. Do they look at it as something intimidating, something fun? What do you mean by mindset?
Sure. Well, first of all, before I even get into that, you got to remember when you're working with clients, as long as I have, and, depending on who that client is, most people really do not like to exercise. Let's face it. So right off the bat, I understand that, or they don't have, we've all heard it, not enough time. So right off the bat, you're working with somebody, coaching them online, or maybe going to their home, or they're coming to you. And I've done this hundreds and hundreds of times. And I've always said it doesn't matter when I'm talking to somebody what that exercise program is that I build or develop for you in a progressive format, or it doesn't matter what I tell you about nutrition. I'm not a nutritionist, but we have a lot of good nutrition tips that you can follow. I'm actually got certified through Precision Nutrition as a nutrition coach. But the program, it basically, before you get into that, you got to talk to somebody about where they are in their head. Where's their mindset at? Are they really ready to start a 4, 8, 12-week program?
Right.
And you can tell most people aren't, David, because the year starts. We got January coming up, and within 6 months, 50% of these people aren't going to be working out, and because they're not following a set plan. It's as simple as that. And sometimes just getting into the right mindset and kind of keeping it in the forefront every day, and hopefully over time that can change behavior. And that has to be looked at first before you can ever talk about the program itself. And we don't do that in a lot of these books. Great programs by great coaches and strength coaches and trainers, but the mindset piece, and it's ever evolving for me. I'm learning more about it each and every day as well.
Sure. I mean, everybody's an individual. Yeah,
I think you're right. Just, the mindset is so important. Finding out where your client/patient is, Mike, is ideal, because you can find out if they have good support, good social support, what options they have around them, and really get to know them first as a person. And then the science comes in, which we all know and love and do so easy, and then we can put the program together. But it is great that you take the time to really get to know what their mindset is, what their goals are. I think that so many people, especially in the new year, will just sign up for a gym membership thinking that that's it. And then they just go mimic the person that looks the best to them, and that's not what we're talking about here.
Right. Everybody has their own capability, their own sort of, their own path. And you're right, Scott. Doing something that somebody else is doing could lead to injury, and it could also lead to kind of a situation where you don't really feel that good about yourself because you're not accomplishing the kind of goals that person next to you is. Maybe there's
like Michael's plan, exactly. Like Michael's structured plan. I think people need that structured plan to feel and see their short and long-term goals.
For sure.
Yeah.
And so
I get it. It's easy to go online. You can go on YouTube. You can go on Instagram.
Yeah.
There's model after model preaching, or someone who lost 100 pounds and now they're a great trainer.
That's right.
Really, come on. I mean,
I know.
Absolutely.
People don't understand. They don't understand. So hopefully this can shed some light on.
Absolutely. And I think that evidence base is really what's very important to show people that there is, not all research is great. I'm not here touting and saying, everything you read is gospel, but at least the research is done. So at least there's been some kind of control in an experiment which showed some kind of outcome, a positive outcome. I think that, when it comes to exercise, that's a really great way to go about it, to use that kind of academic, background or academic bolster to say this really works. And also you have, you also have the experience of 30 years. So like you said, what works for some people and what doesn't work for some people. So, putting that together.
We're going to take somebody, a 22-year-old Division I college athlete who's going to be trained a lot differently than a soccer mom.
Right. So we're going to continue this discussion, Michael. We're going to kind of go into some of the other steps that you talk about. And just to start the conversation, the second step is assessment. Now, as an exercise physiologist and being, a professor in a college, I did a lot of assessments. So stay with us. We're going to be talking with Michael Wood about his new book, An Assessment.
You're listening to Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX, Cave Creek, Phoenix, a division of Premier Radio Stations.
Much of the northern U.S. is at 32 degrees or below today, and a lot of the region has experienced heavy snow. Erie, Pennsylvania got more than 60 inches in the past few days. Good news for Tom Nowoselski, who owns a department store in town.
Everybody's just in disbelief of how much snow we've had. They said even for Erie, this is a lot of snow.
Erie and much of the northern U.S. are dealing with sub-zero Arctic air and dangerously cold wind chills. A transformer blowout caused parts of Disneyland to lose power this afternoon. Jeff Feinberg was among those who were inconvenienced.
We were on the It's a Small World ride, and, about 60-70% of the way through the ride, the power just went off, and we kind of sat there for about 25 minutes. in the dark.
Dozens of people had to be helped off about a dozen rides. Finally, some good news for firefighters who've been trying to get the massive Thomas fire northwest of Los Angeles under control. It's close to 90% contained. I'm Christopher Cruz.
It's time for your 1100 KFNX traffic report, brought to you by St. Vincent de Paul. Take a look out to Phoenix. We have an accident at the I-10 westbound at 43rd Ave. In Tempe, we have a closing at the Loop 101 southbound on University Drive. And in Chandler, we have a fender bender at Arizona Ave at Ocotillo Road. You can make a donation and get a dollar-for-dollar tax credit off your 2017 taxes by donating by December 31st to St. Vincent de Paul at charitytaxcreditaz.com.
From the KFNX WeatherBug Weather Center, as we head into the evening under clear skies, our low tonight 46. Thursday sunny with a high near 76. Thursday night clear, overnight low 46. And Friday sunny with a high again near 76. I'm Scott Allen Fortney from the KFNX WeatherBug Weather Center.
Currently in downtown Phoenix, it's 70 degrees.
Next news in 30 minutes or when it breaks. Here on Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX.
Don't sacrifice comfort for style when it comes to your feet. Try a pair of Atrex shoes instead. Atrex shoes feature built-in orthotic support that can help with balance, alignment, and injury prevention. Plus, ultra-soft memory foam cushioning to keep you feeling great all day long. This month only, receive a 10% discount by using the special code WELLNESS. That's WELLNESS. Don't wait. Visit Atrex.com, AETREX.com, and get your shoes today.
We are all aware the digital age has swiftly come upon us, and staying on top of our health has become more mainstream than ever before. But what if there was a way to combine the two? Finally, we can. WellnessRoundtable.com is an online video healthcare site that allows consumers the opportunity to speak to the health experts they want to and on their own time. Simply pick an expert, pick a time, and book the roundtable. It's as easy as that. Visit Wellness Roundtable at wellnessroundtable.com. Again, that's wellnessroundtable.com.
Fitness professionals want to learn how to teach chair and standing yoga to seniors and health-challenged individuals while earning CEUs and making your classes more engaging and fun? Register for Training the Teacher with Amy Kraft and Janet Ray Humphrey, experts in the areas of senior fitness, yoga, and biomechanics. February 15th through the 18th in Scottsdale, Arizona. Save $200 if you enroll before January 4th. Register early. Space is limited. Call 406-546-6922 or visit seniorYogaPros.com.
Nationally recognized fitness expert Michael Wood, named 2 times as one of America's top 100 trainers by Men's Journal, has a new book to get you on the path to health and longevity. The TBC 30 Plan, a 6-step diet and exercise strategy, simplifies the exercise and diet puzzle and will have you feeling great in only 30 days. If you're looking for a science-based approach to improving how you feel your body and exercise in the new year, this is the book for you. The TBC 30 Plan is available as an ebook or paperback and can be found at Amazon.com or MichaelWoodFitness.com.
Welcome back to the Wellness Roundtable radio show. We're talking with Michael Wood, world-renowned fitness expert, and we're talking about his new book, TBC 30, or the TBC 30 Plan, a 6-step diet and exercise strategy, and it's on sale on Amazon as well as MichaelWoodFitness.com. So we kind of left and we were talking about assessment, and as an exercise physiologist and someone who's kind of taught instrumentation, I've done a lot of assessments. So how do individuals who read your book do an assessment?
Sure.
And what assessments do you think are important?
Yep, great question. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. So there's a lot of things you can do here, and I really tried to go very basic, but I understand that people don't have fancy equipment like you may have at a university. I was fortunate when I was at Tufts University in Boston, for example, we had an underwater weighing tank. So we could do, get body fat that way. That's not going to happen for the average person. And even getting skin fold calipers on somebody unless the person knows what they're doing can be really difficult. So I recommend just getting a waist to hip ratio, and I recommend not just using a measuring cloth or whatever. I recommend a Google tape measurer, and you can find those on Amazon. They're spring-loaded. I've used those in the research setting and on my own clients, and it works really well. And people sometimes, the reason I like waist to hip ratio is to start. And again, there's a lot of different ways you could go here, but that simple measurement right around the navel or maybe an inch above the navel and around the hips and then you can divide those in to get the waist-hip ratio. There's a lot of science right there.
Sure.
And I like that. And it tells you as a guy, my God, my waist is coming up close to 40 inches. For a lot of guys, that's the case. Then I need to watch out. Hey, we talked about pre-diabetes earlier, diabetes. We got to make sure that we do the right type of exercise to bring these measurements down. But it just gives you, the red flag, if you will, if they're just getting a little bit too high for a woman over a certain, I talk about it in the book, or a guy. So I like using that. It's very simple. People can do it. How spouses can work together, or if you have a girlfriend or someone, you can. So that's the first thing I like to start with is the waist-hip ratio.
Okay. And that really does, the science shows that is highly correlated to relative risk of cardiovascular disease, diabetes, cardiovascular. Yeah.
Without a doubt. If people don't realize, and I realized over the years that I was doing it, I didn't hear other people using it as much, coaches and trainers in my area. And I just always collected the data with it, and I like that from a coaching perspective, that I can work with somebody at the start of a program, and the guy might have a 38-inch waist. By the time I'm done in 4 or 8 weeks, he might have a 36.5-inch waist, and he's lost an inch on his waist or more.
Right.
That has a dramatic impact on overall health, like you just mentioned. So we teach people the importance of waist-hip numbers, measurements, and waist-hip ratio, where you don't want to be above 1.0 for a guy, say, or whatever the case might be.
Right.
And again, we talk about that in the book. So real good information there. They can do it real simple, and I like people to start with that more than checking their body weight. And people love checking their weight.
Sure.
We can use that, but that's just a little side measure. It's not going to tell you too much. It doesn't give you a breakdown of what, that's, for me, 225 pounds, what's lean tissue, and what's percent body fat. So I like waist-hip ratio. That's one of my first. I also use, go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask. So, and you said you also use, what else do you use?
I use, so that's kind of my quick measurement. And I'll do percent body fat and weight on people. I use the height to weight ratio as well. There's some good numbers with that. We talk about that in the book. But then I go right into something real simple that gives me a good understanding of the client. I have them do a plane test, either on the forearms or arms extended.
Sure.
And that is a great indicator of overall core strength, but a lot of other muscles coming into play that make up that core. So we like starting off with those two.
So if you're not there doing the assessment, they do the assessment at home and self-report it? Do they?
Correct.
Okay, so they fill out a worksheet, and basically you have certain norms, right? So if you did it for 15 seconds, this is where you fall. You did it for 30 seconds. Okay. So that people know kind of where they stand.
Exactly.
So, what you're talking about are very simple things that people can do. And again, I think that also lends itself to motivating individuals, right? The easier you make it, or I should say the easier the on-ramp, the more likely somebody is willing to participate, right?
Exactly.
But you also have something in there as daily movement. And I have two questions, and that is, what are you looking for? Are you looking for 10,000 steps a day? Is there a particular amount of steps for a particular type of person? So in other words, if somebody reports that they have a BMI of 40, you're probably not going to ask them to walk 10,000 steps.
No.
So how does that how does that equate? How does that work?
Well, first of all, there's a lot of issues with 10,000 steps. It got thrown out into from the science world years ago, and there's really not too much information on the value of why 10,000 steps is a big number.
Right.
I think it was a paper or two that talked about it. But again, I don't care where that person is with 10,000 steps. What I do is I'll have them wear a pedometer and most people have a pedometer radio or an activity tracker, like an Apple Watch or a Fitbit watch. I have them watch what they're doing over the course of 3 days and get an average. The average person's walking 5,000 to 6,000 steps. And then from there, we slowly build them up 500 to 750 steps a week. And that is just, so again, 10,000 doesn't mean anything to me because I don't want to tell someone to hit 10,000 steps. If it's like you just mentioned, a deconditioned person with a BMI over 40, that's going to turn somebody off, and we're not going to win any contest here. So find out where they are. And again, it's a simple thing, but no one really does it. Take an average, a baseline assessment, and where are you come the new year? And, hey, I'm walking 7,000 steps a day. well, let's have a goal down the road
Right.
to get to 10,000 steps.
Right.
And that's just one thing on the movement piece. Because the reason I have the movement piece in as a step is because we think we go to the gym. There's another piece, as you saw, strength, get stronger. And we need strength training, but we're going to do the strength training. But the key is we go to the gym for 30 minutes or an hour, and we think we're great. And we go back to that sitting we talked about earlier, and it negates it almost.
Yep.
So
Right.
what you have to do is get the activity, but we have to make sure that we're getting active during the day in addition to the workout, or you will not see significant changes.
Right. Scott, do you hear the passion in his voice?
Of course,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
And I think that's what attracts many athletes and, clients to somebody like Michael. You have to really be not only passionate, but you can tell he does it himself.
Yeah.
And when
Yeah.
somebody does it themselves, it naturally, comes over just like that. So 100%, Mike, it's great to hear that you're doing this and putting that together. And we need more people like yourself out there evaluating and really putting together structured, organized programs.
Right. Educating people on what they can do in a simple way to kind of get started. That's it. And like you said, once you get started, it's a lifestyle change, right? It's something that we've been talking about this with guests for the last, few weeks. You empower people to kind of be their own advocate. And then once they're their own advocate and they can see the accomplishment, then they're much more likely to stick with it. So,
and when you say accomplishment, Dave, that's what I like about the evaluations that Michael does that most people should be doing, because now you can quantify what you're doing. And when you can see the number either increase or decrease, that is one of the biggest motivators out there.
Right. It's relative to yourself. That's why I was asking you about the 10,000 steps. What you're doing is you're creating a relative baseline to every single person who does your plan. So if it's 6,000, it's 6,000, 3,000, 10,000, 15, it doesn't matter. But you look for a certain percentage of improvement as you go, like a progression. And I think that's a really smart way of doing it. And like I said, it's, for some people it's an easier on-ramp, so they're more likely to continue.
And just one thing about the measurement, we talked about this, you mentioned quotes in the book, and one of my favorite quotes in the book is not even from an exercise physiologist. He's actually a business guy, Peter Drucker, and he says it the best, and I stole that to his essence. If you can't measure it, you can't improve it. Or how do you know if you can improve it?
Right.
Like that's the whole thing, and that's going to keep you motivated.
That's exactly right.
And we want that retention. I want someone to stop this program, and I want to train them on to another. This is TBC. 30 was basically 30 days, 4 weeks. Well, let's say you hook up to that for 12 weeks. And you can follow this kind of a format, and you can change it to what you have at the house in terms of equipment. You have just body weight. You got body weight, and that's fine. You don't need all this fancy equipment. If you happen to go to a nice gym, great. You can do that.
Yep.
If you work with me, you're going to have things. Great. But this should be applied to anybody. And you can't have the excuse that I don't have the equipment, because guess what? The exercise component is a small piece of this. It's a lifestyle change. We got to create something that's sustainable for people. And I want them doing this when we talk again in a year.
For a long period of time. Yeah, I agree.
Exactly.
So, believe it or not, we're up to our last segment. We're going to be breaking in about 30 or so seconds. And I want to talk with you about strengthening, getting lean, and the importance of sleep, because those are the last three kind of simple steps that you lay out. And maybe we can kind of combine the strengthening and getting lean. I would be interested to hear what you say about that. So again, stay with us. Our guest is Michael Wood, world-renowned fitness expert, and we'll be right back.
Want shoes that are both comfortable and stylish? Look no more. Aetrex has what you need. Aetrex shoes feature built-in orthotic support that can help with balance, alignment, and injury prevention, all wrapped up in a stylish package. Listeners can take advantage of our special offer for 10% off their purchase at Aetrex.com. AETREX.com. Use the code WELLNESS. That's WELLNESS. Don't wait. The special offer expires December 31st, 2017.
Can you imagine talking to top health professionals, athletes, and experts in the world about your health questions? Well, for just $30 at wellnessroundtable.com, you can jump online and speak to an expert. Check out their archives of lectures as well as numerous articles, videos, and research studies. Explore Wellness Roundtable at wellnessroundtable.com and get control of your health. Use the promo code 1100 and get a 20% discount. Again, that's wellnessroundtable.com.
The new year is just around the corner. Start your year off right with the January Jumpstart program, a 4-week online nutrition, fitness, and mindset program to jumpstart your health. This program includes workouts, nutrition education, recipes, and private coaching. Act now. Radio show listeners will get a 20% discount off the regular price. Call Sarah at 303-818-5461 to jumpstart your health and get on the right track in 2018.
Nationally recognized fitness expert Michael Wood, named 2 times as one of America's top 100 trainers by Men's Journal, has a new book to get you on the path to health and longevity. The TBC 30 Plan, a 6-step diet and exercise strategy, simplifies the exercise and diet puzzle and will have you feeling great in only 30 days. If you're looking for a science-based approach to improving how you fuel your body and exercise in the new year, this is the book for you. The TBC 30 Plan is available as an ebook or paperback and can be found at Amazon.com or MichaelWoodFitness.com.
Atrix is one of the fastest growing companies in the footwear industry and is widely recognized as a global leader in comfort and wellness footwear products. The Atrix mission is to create the healthiest shoe on the market today. With fashion, function, and quality at the forefront, Atrix designs and manufactures most types of footwear for both men and women. All styles are crafted with care to meet the highest standards in design, incorporate cutting-edge technologies, and offer unmatched customization and adjustability. To learn how Atrix can help you with your feet, go to AETREX.com. That's Atrix.com.
After an amazing 2017 that saw Sun Devil men's basketball get off to the best start in program history, Coach Hurley looks to take the program to unprecedented heights in 2018. The Sun Devils tip off Pac-12 play in Wells Fargo Arena Thursday, January 11th with the Oregon Ducks before finishing the weekend January 13th with the Oregon State Beavers. We need you at Wells Fargo Arena to help the Sun Devils continue the momentum. Get your tickets today at sundeviltickets.com. That's sundeviltickets.com.
Back with the Wellness Roundtable radio show, and our guest is Michael Wood, world-renowned fitness expert, and his new book, The TBC 30 Plan, a 6-step diet and exercise strategy, on sale on Amazon as well as Michael Wood Fitness. And we've been talking about this book and the various steps that he lays out, very simple steps, 6 steps. We've talked about mindset, assessment, and daily movement, and what we'd like to do now is just touch on strength and also kind of getting lean. And before we do that, I do want to open this up to callers. So we do welcome you to call in. If you're in Phoenix, the number is 602-277-5369. And if you're out of state, it's 1-866-536-1100. So, Michael, you know, we've been talking about how kind of simplistic this book is and the plan. It can really be open to anybody. And you have these 2 areas of strengthening and getting lean. And I wanted to hear what your thoughts are on that.
Sure. Well, if you were to ask me, you know, what's the big surprise or the big thing that we all need to be working on, I would tell you simply strength training. Mm-hmm. That is we call that the fountain of youth at Coco Fit Club, and it really is. We are aging at a significant rate. You know, we are losing muscle as we continue to age at, you know, about 0.5 pound a year, so about 5 pounds per decade you're losing about 5 pounds of muscle per decade. So it's real important that you offset that. And I'm not talking with movement. That's important, but we need to load muscle. We need to load bone, connective tissue. And the way you do that is through strength training. You don't need to do a lot of it, but you got to make sure you're doing high quality movement.
Sure.
And you need to do those a few times a week. So I lay that out.
I love hearing you say that, Mike. You know, for so long everybody says the gospel of exercise is aerobic training, and I think we all know the benefits, but I like hearing that you're promoting strength training, and that is, so to say, on the top of your list. I think people forget about how important it really is.
I agree, and also, Michael, you're very positive about it, and one of our first shows, we kind of talked about aging, and it just is not a pretty picture as far as what happens, not only with muscle, but our vessels, our nervous system, everything. And so I do agree with you. I think, calling it the fountain of youth is very, very interesting in that, if you do have strong muscles that can pull on those bones, the bones are going to get stronger. Therefore, balance will most likely be improved, right?
Exactly.
Posture can be improved. And then also activities of daily living don't become difficult.
Exactly. I mean, just look at your parents and maybe your grandparents if they're around, and speaking of ADLs, how are they getting up in and out of a car, up and out of a chair? They've become like maximal efforts for people
Absolutely.
in the 70s and 80s, and you can offset that through when you're younger to get into strength training or on a regular basis. Keep it up. You don't have to do a lot of it, but you have to be consistent with it.
Correct.
And I just do it 2 or 3 times a week, sometimes twice a week, for 20, 30 minutes, if that. And I'll throw a couple of yoga sessions in a week. I'll do a few sessions on cardio. I have a rowing machine in my garage. I go to a club, I'll do some HIIT training. And that's it. It doesn't have to be a lot of stuff. It has to be high quality movement and wrapped around with that movement piece that we talked about on the pedometer side and building up safely and effectively to 10,000 steps.
So
you mentioned something interesting in there. That yoga. You mentioned that yoga piece. I think that people forget about how important flexibility is for longevity as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, we get to this retired point. I'm in my mid-50s, and I'll retire down the road, and I will get into more golf and tennis. The problem is when you do that, you've lost mobility, your flexibility's out the door, you've decreased your strength, and you're now going to try to do these activities. Well, it's paramount that you start doing these things now when you're younger, and working on these things on a regular basis. And I'm not talking, I do 5-10 minutes of mobility work. I add that into before I work out. I do a little foam rolling to release some of the tight fascia in my body, and I'll do a little strength training. It doesn't have to be a lot, and people get all misbent out of shape because I just don't have the time for it.
Right.
So give me 30 minutes, and I will give the time. We can make something happen in 30 minutes or less.
So when you're talking about strength training and you're talking about getting lean, a lot of the research, at least when I was in school, was muscle burns more than fat, and if you have more muscle, you can be more metabolically active and burn more calories. Is you're getting lean in your simplistic kind of viewpoint in the way you've written the book? Is getting lean? Does that have to do with strength training, or is that the diet plan?
It's a combination of both.
Okay.
Before I get to the diet piece, the strength training is critical because you are going to, and again, you get over 50 years old, it's really difficult to start building lean tissue.
Right.
You build it at a slower rate, it can happen, but we want to offset that slowing metabolism, and weight training, strength training will do that. But years ago, they thought it was just a lot more bang for the buck.
Right.
And it really isn't.
That's right.
You don't burn those 50, 100 calories. I've seen all kinds of numbers for every pound of muscle you add on.
Right.
It's actually, 6 calories per pound of muscle versus a couple for fat. So you burn 3 times more calories for every pound of muscle you have. But the key is you have to focus on the intake and how you're fueling your body. And that's where I get in with getting leaner. So in addition to strength training 2 or 3 times a week to preserve your lean tissue, now you're going to start to follow some of the tips I'm talking about that have been tried and tested through research, through my clients, working with my clients. I follow in getting leaner. There are 8 diet nutritional strategies within that step that I want you to follow, and they're really easy to implement. And, watching your added sugar, things like that. And I give you some great things to follow, and those will have a significant impact on your waist to hip ratio and the way you feel in terms of energy. So, yes, a combination of both strength and diet to get you leaner.
Yeah, I love the book. I mean, so we're talking with Michael Wood, fitness expert, who has written a new book called the TBC 30 Plan, a 6-step diet and exercise strategy, on sale on Amazon as well as Michael Wood Fitness. And you, I see that you kind of simplistically lay out the diet. You have meal plans built in. You have kind of daily workout regimens built in. It's really, there's no question as to what you need to do. You've kind of made it, I hate to say it, sort of like, a dummy's guide to getting started type thing.
You have to do that, though, Dave, because people will not.
Right, I think it's
very fancy and
I know.
complicated. People, they don't do it.
But it still has some great information, though. That's the thing. It's not. It's even though it's simplistic, it's still chock full and enriched with really evidence-based information to kind of get people educated as to the importance of, what this exercise actually is.
Exactly. And I think I mentioned in the book somewhere that I used it, hey, the program's validated by results. And people are like, what do you mean?
Right.
Well, do the program. If you follow to a T, you'll get results. I've done that with hundreds of people.
Right.
Online, in person. It works. It's a template. There are a lot of great templates and programs out there. This is one of them that if you follow, it gives the right components, I feel, from my experience, that have worked. And a version of the TBC plan got published in the National Strength and Conditioning Association Journal back in 2000. And it was a similar program, not so deep on the nutrition side, but the similar version of an exercise was a circuit plan, weight training. So it works. You just got to make sure you follow these steps. And then the last step that you mentioned, the sleep kind of ties it all together.
Yeah,
because let's face it, you get older, the sleep becomes erratic. You have all kinds of sleeping issues. Sleep apnea is big now with a lot of people as they put weight on. I don't sleep as well as I used to, and I still can get 8 hours, but the efficiency of the sleep is not as good. So there's some tips in there what to do to try to make sure that it's a ritual.
Fantastic.
And you do the same thing every night, and you stay.
Do you guys know what the best thing for sleep is?
No,
do you have any idea?
Dave.
You take a graduate course in sleep physiology. It's the best thing. I slept so well in that class. It was the most boring class because I realized when I took it, I didn't think it was I thought big deal. Like it's sleep physiology, but it is so important.
Critical.
Understanding all of the facets of sleep and how it impacts us in several different aspects of our lives. It's really, really important. So I'm so glad that you put that in there.
And Dave, a good point that people don't realize with sleep, sedation is not good restful sleep.
Right.
Taking a sleeping pill is being sedated. You do not get the right hormones produced by sedating yourself. And that's an important point to point out there.
I agree.
Quality of sleep and uninterrupted sleep, and there's a lot of things that you can do to hopefully help improve that. It's simple things. Just, watch out for the caffeine if you're sensitive, and a lot of people are, and they don't realize drinking coffee late in the afternoon, or really any day after midday, that is still 50% of that caffeine is still circulating through your bloodstream 6 hours post drinking it. So
Michael,
I try to just watch out after noontime.
I wanted to thank you for being on the show. Michael Wood, world-renowned fitness expert. His new book, TBC 30, a 6-step diet and exercise strategy on sale on Amazon, as well as Michael Wood Fitness. Join us next week on the Wellness Roundtable radio show. Michael, thank you so much, and you are welcome here anytime. Thanks so much. See you next week.
You've been listening to the Wellness Roundtable radio show right here on Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX. Tune in next week for more from the experts on the Wellness Roundtable radio show.
Atrix is one of the fastest growing companies in the footwear industry and is widely recognized as a global leader in comfort and wellness footwear products. The Atrix mission is to create the healthiest shoe on the market today with fashion, function, and quality at the forefront. Atrix designs and manufactures most types of footwear for both men and women. All styles are crafted with care to meet the highest standards in design, incorporate cutting-edge technologies, and offer unmatched customization and adjustability. To learn how Atrix can help you with your feet, go to AETREX.com. That's Atrix.com.
How do you make the right decision every time with minimal effort? You use your intuition. Join the YWCA for this interactive presentation in which you will learn the difference between intuition, emotion, and intellect, and how each influence decision-making. Julie Fartha, recognized intuitive insight expert, will teach you how to recognize and use your intuition through her method, Tangible Intuition, in order to make the right decision every time with more efficiency and more success. Register online at ywcaaz.org or call 602-258-0990 extension 11.
You're listening to KFNX News Talk Radio 1100. Cave Creek, Phoenix. The home of Laura Ingraham. Weekdays 6 to 9 a.m.